Alright, here we have video number 3 in the garage. This is something that I wasn't necessarily going to show, but decided there were a couple little tricky spots, and I would go ahead and demonstrate what they were. What we're going to do is we're going to install flush mount turn signals on the front. As you can see, I already have one of them done. So we will do the other side, which still has the stock turn signal on it. And we'll also put in one of the flasher controller things to try to slow the flashing down so it doesn't look so hyperactive. And that'll at least open up the door in case I wanted to do LEDs on the back as well. So anyway, let's get started. One of the first things we have to do is pull the bolts out. This is in the directions, so follow them. And I'm just showing it because it's part of the process. Not that it's difficult to find. There's one bolt on each side, right in here, and same thing on the other side. So just pull those things out, and you can lift the front end right up off of the two pegs. There's two pegs down in the bottom. We'll see those in a few minutes. Knock the camera, make it all shaky. That's always a good thing. Hit the mic, probably sounded really good. Alright, so there's one bolt. This side's a little harder because the clutch cable's in the way. And I'll probably drop this because I always seem to drop at least one fastener per video, so see what happens. More likely to drop it when it's going back in than coming out. Alright, as you can see, it just moved, so we're getting close and dropped it trying to set it down. Alright, so that is the two screws. Let me pan over just a hair so we can see the whole thing. And I'll tilt it down a little bit just for the sake of tilting it down. Get the whole headlight in. Focus is probably horrible, but we'll go with it for the moment. So you can tip it away now. And it's held on two little grommets that are still out of the shot. Let me tilt down and get those. See if I can get that right down here. Two little rubber grommets and pegs. You can't see them, but trust me, they're there. You can just pull up on it and the thing comes away free. Obviously, we have some connectors to undo. So let me see if I can reposition the camera at a better angle so you can see all the connectors, and we will continue. Alright, a little bit better angle. Basically you have three connectors. Turn signal. The right turn signal is gray, black turn signal is, or the left turn signal is black. Tough to see because of the lighting, and it's black, like so many other things in here, but right turn signal is gray, so don't get those messed up. And the headlight has to be unplugged. But we'll start up here with these. The little release things are rather difficult to activate. You're probably going to need to stick a little pry bar in there of some kind, a flat blade screwdriver or something. This, not sure if you can see it because I can't see my monitor. It's a little tool I made to release the pins in the connectors and that will be shown a little bit more in a later half of this when we're putting in that flash regulation device thing. But anyway, it's kind of like a little flat blade. I'm just going to wedge it in here underneath the release so I can pop this connector out. I hope. If not, I'm going to have to get a screwdriver. But I think this should do it. There, that'll do it. There's that one. Do the same thing over here on the other side that you can't really see. Trust me, it's there. I'm not going to move the camera to show you because this has already taken way more time to explain than it is to actually perform the work. That's the problem with these videos. Once you got those done, these just slide off towards the outside. Then, because I think you can see this, let's flip my monitor around so I can sort of show you. Roll that thing up, that little cover, and you have the headlight cover. White connector, as described in the instructions. Horribly overexposed because I'm trying to show you mostly things that are made out of black plastic and don't really show up very well on camera. Press the latch, pull it apart. There you go. One headlight assembly off the bike. Most of our work is going to be done on this. So let's set this down on something and start working on it. Kind of working just barely behind the camera, so the audio is probably going to be all skewed to one side. Whatever. Here's the headlight. Turn signal 1's over here, probably off camera. Right? Oh no, it's just barely there. It's the one I've already got done. Again, so far it's all been pretty straightforward. But this is where things got a little bit different. Maybe could have been explained in a little greater detail in the instructions. But pulling these things off took a little bit of guesswork and possibility of brute force and ignorance. But turned out to not actually be the incorrect procedure of a little bit of brute force. So basic thing, like the instructions say, grab a screwdriver and hit the camera, make it vibrate. Doing that left-handed, so it's not exactly my good hand, being a right-handed person. You pull this plate off. Let's see if you can actually kind of see that. You can kind of see that. Again, another black object. Video loves black objects. So set that aside in case you ever want to go back to stock. And there's this little metal plate in here that you have to pop out. Like that. And you can pull that off. Set screwdrivers down. This is where I was having problems. The instructions say to pinch the rubber and just kind of pull it out. That wasn't working out so well because I was trying to do it backwards. What you want to do is pull from the front to the back. This might be a two-handed job. Nope, got it. This back side here, back here, seems to be pretty stout. Didn't want to flex much, but rocking it towards what would be the back of the motorcycle if it was mounted seemed to work out pretty good. And there you have it. I would suggest putting some of these pieces back together so that you don't lose them, again, in case you need to go back to stock or want to go back to stock or whatever reason, get a ticket and you're forced to go back to stock, because it is possible. These are not DOT approved, so you may be forced. It's unlikely because, at least in this state, they are the required, more than the required minimum distance apart. Blah, blah, blah. Do so at own risk, all that stuff. But But now onto the part that I feel should have been done on the manufacture of these lights. And I will grab the other one and I'll show you what I mean, or at least I'll try to figure out a way to show you what I mean. Here we are, have that propped up on my Kawasaki Racing Green towel. Alright, so it's not, it's just a towel. But whatever, it's a green towel, it's close enough. We'll call it Kawasaki Racing Green. So, take the thing apart, just like they say in the instructions. Not sure why they ship it with that washer, but I guess they didn't want it to break during shipping, because you do not use that. Ought to make good audio for that. Now here's where my problem began. Normally you put this through, you put the backing plate, which I just dropped, put the backing plate on the back side and you tighten the nut back down. But not too tight because you'll break it because it's all made out of plastic. But what I found that I really didn't like was that there's no way that thing's gonna stay put no matter how tight you make it. It's plastic on plastic. It's just as slippery as can be. This will help wedge it, but it still has a little bit of play. So what I did was I got some adhesive backed foam, which is unfortunately also plastic. And I don't know how well you can see this because I can't see my monitor. Adhesive backed foam. Cut a star shape in it. Run the cable up through it. Like that. Make sure it's gonna fit. Make sure you got a little bit extra so you know it's gonna fit. Pull it back up a little ways. Peel the liner off, stick it down. You know, I'm sure you guys get the gist of where this is going. And of course, it's being difficult because we're on the camera. If you want things to go smoothly, like the first one I did, don't do it on camera. This is fighting me every step of the way. Anyway, put that down, stick it down, however you want, and we'll trim that away with a razor knife. Yes, kids, we're playing with dangerous tools here. Knife, very sharp. Let's cut some of the excess off of that. Pull it away. Same here. Don't know how well this particular foam is going to put up with the elements and time, but it stops it from sliding around, and right now that is good enough for me. Alright, so now we have to carefully trim this stuff. How you want to do it is up to you. I usually, not sure how well this can be seen because again I can't see the monitor on the camera. Use the part as kind of a guide. There you go. And more black objects on black objects with the light. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish trimming this off of camera because nobody really cares to see me do that. So be back in a moment and we will do more stuff. All right, got that trimmed up. Not the prettiest of jobs, but it's done all the same. So now we'll stick that through like it's supposed to. Now when you put it down, it kind of stays where you want it. Just a question of getting it put back together now. A lot of this may or may not be on camera. Again, I can't see what I'm doing. I'm working on the wrong side of the camera. I'm not going to show you how to screw the nut down. Pretty basic. And I will say though that this is only going to get finger tight. The other side was also finger tight. And I don't think I'm all that strong, but I started hearing some things getting stressed. So I stopped, hoping that they won't vibrate free. Get that kind of lined up with the pattern and crank it down. That pop was not the plastic. Oh, that was. So that's definitely as far as I can go because it feels like the glue is popping free. Alright, now onto the wiring. It's not all that difficult, but it's a little counterintuitive. It is spelled out in the directions, so it's not too bad. But the red does not go to what I would think it would, and therefore neither does the black. But they go together however they are supposed to go together. Which is, oddly enough, the red goes to the green. And that was very, very strange. Get that put in. That makes the black going on to the orange, yellow-ish thing. I call it orange, you may call it something else. Who knows what the camera's gonna show till I look at this in the computer while I'm editing. And get the little rubber insulators lined up so we don't short anything out. And then the plug is the correct plug to plug right into the wiring harness, which we will do right now. All right, got them plugged in. That's pretty simple task. You've already taken them apart. I assume you can probably plug them back in without me showing you, so I didn't show you. Got the thing set back up. I did not latch it because the next step is going to be that flashing adjustment thing, whatever they want to call it. Hang on a minute. LF1 SPIN, whatever this thing is. I bought it when I bought the lights. Supposed to compensate for the rapid flashing, which might as well demonstrate right now. Turn the key on and I'll show you what it looks like right now so we have something to compare with when we put this flasher thing in and decide if it's something that you want to do or not. Mixed feelings about it, and we'll discuss that when we see it. Got the key on, the headlight's still unplugged because I'm going to have to pull this out of the way to do this flasher thing. But do that one. They're pretty dim. Wish they were a little brighter. Got that one. Got that one. So they're working. But you can see how fast they flash. And you might be able to see the flashing on the garage door in the background. I can see it with my eyes. I can't tell in the viewfinder if you can see it or not back there. Maybe you can, just barely. Get that canceled. And so that would be, put it back together, put the two screws in the side, and get things cable tied up before you do that, just so that it's nice and neat. But I did buy this equalizer, flasher, whatever they call it. I forget exactly what they call it. So we might as well install it and see how we like it. And that will be coming right up. I'm going to pull this back out of the way because the harness that we need is back in there. It's essentially right strapped down to this fork tube. So we'll get this out of the way so we can see what we're doing. I'll see if I can get some close-ups of taking the connector apart. I'm not sure. I didn't bring any macro attachments, so I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be able to see from it, but we'll give it a shot. So that'll be the next thing that we see. Okay, pulled that back out of the way. And now we have to pull some pins out of a connector. And once again, we're dealing with black objects, black background, black on video, and none of that's a good mix, so I'm not sure how well this is going to turn out. But we're going to do it anyway. So I'm going to pull that down a little bit and just kind of persuade it to come out from behind that cable restraint, because we need a little bit more room to run this boot up. And I'm hoping that's still in focus. It looks pretty close. Depth of field says I'm probably okay on that. Barely, but we'll do it anyway. We'll go with it. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. So anyway, you gotta fight with this boot and pull it up. Look, a black connector. How nice. More black on black. Pull the catch down and just kind of persuade that to come apart. There we are. So what we need is, hope you can see these. We need the orange wire right there. And the orange wire right there. It's in the directions. Orange wire. So now it comes to the tool to release the little clip, the little catch on each of these contacts. Find the spot and it just kind of, I like to push the wires back up inside so that the catch isn't going to be stuck against the plastic in the housing. Not something you can really see very well. And this thing goes up inside here. Presses the catch down, I hope. And out comes contact, just like that. That's the easy one. This one gave me a bit of grief earlier when I was testing this. Not going to be able to see in there because there's just no light getting inside of that socket. Push that up in there. Pull that back. And out it comes. So there we have those two contacts. And that's where this little flasher adjuster thing is going to go. It's going to hook up into there. You can take, this can go back together. Snap. Good there. I'll fight with that a little bit more. Alright. Now here's the odd part. They give you this huge chunk of heat shrink. Man, that's just way too much to cover up any of this stuff. You can't even, there's no way it's going to even work right. So you're not going to be able to get the thing plugged together with that much. So I guess we're going to have to cut it. Yeah. Super wonderful, cheapo, free with purchase Sears from the Harbor Freight. They are the toolbox scissors, which means they cut whatever I need them to cut, hopefully. and when they're wrecked, I will replace them. Yeah, roughly in half. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty close. If it doesn't work, I'll go get more heat shrink. I've got some out in the car. Slice that. I also got another piece. They give you two. So I'll put that on there. Still isn't very nice. It's really, really long. Alright, that'll work. Plug that thing on there. We will be shrinking this. I'm going to do it off camera. Nobody really cares to see me run a heat gun over this stuff. Couldn't find my little butane crack torch, so we'll use the heat gun, which is a lot closer to the correct tool to use. Butane torch would have been fine though, when used cautiously. So we'll put these two together, and I will stop the recording, and I will shrink those things together. Yes, it's a pain. Now if you needed to, oh, wow, look at that. That's why they give you two. That one's too short. Let's get the other tubing out. How far up will that go? Oh, that one will go far enough, so we'll use the whole length of the tubing. Just because it's there and I don't feel like cutting it again. Okay, that's in there. We'll crunch that closed. Alright, so anyway, back to the heat gun. You don't need to watch me do it. It's a heat gun. It makes lots of noise. Really not much to see. The tubing will shrink. That's what it does. It's its whole purpose in life. And the noise will just overwhelm the microphone, and it's just noise. So I'll be back in a minute with that shrunken up. And we're back. Shrunken up, good as it gets. Nothing wonderful. It's mostly just to insulate these, since these contacts were bare. So that job is done. Pull the cover down. It loses some water resistance. Should still be okay. If it's not, then I guess the whole thing is reversible. You can just pop those contacts right back up into the connector. So it is reversible. Now we just have to find a way to cable tie that thing up out of the way. See if my little cable ties will work, and if not, I have to grab a bigger size from the toolbox. It's hard to see. Clutch cable, got that strain relief thing that we persuaded the cable through, so we'll put that back in because it needs to go back in. Got the clutch cable right behind it that you probably can't see from that angle. There's another wire strain relief thing just like this. Looks a little different. I think that would make a good spot to strap this thing somehow, because it should hold it up out of the way. They say to strap it right to the fork. Obviously, with my New York inspection up there, I can't do that. If the inspection were down here, it might work a little bit better. But that's where they put it, so that's where it's staying. It's up near the VIN number because there might be some law that says you have to. Oh, actually, you know what? This will be a pain if I ever have to change it, but I could just strap it right to the clutch cable and get a longer cable tie, because this little short guy is not gonna work. Happen to have them right at hand. Got the toolbox right behind me. Strap it right there. Should be plenty of room inside behind the headlight, I hope. If not, I guess we'll find out real quick. that it needs to go somewhere else. Okay. Let's see if I can find my wire cutters. They're in here somewhere. Where that finally is, right there. Good enough. El Cheapos, like everything else in the toolbox, mostly meant for cutting safety wire. Mostly. Alright, and there it is. Let's get the headlight put back up and see what we can see. I think I can grab that without shutting the recording off. Be right back. Let you look at the pretty work. I'll talk off camera. Crossing in front of the lights, all that stuff. Yeah. Alright. Get that up. Mount that back on there. Mount that connector back on there. Get the pegs in. Find my turn signals. There's one. There's the other. Let's see, can you see one of them? Yes, we can see that one quite nicely. Turn the key back on. See, now it does that double quick flash and then a pause. Not sure I like it. Not sure I hate it. It's different. It'll probably be okay. And again, at least it's not just flash as fast as it can go, like so many other LED conversions that we hate. And I guess you can kind of see it, that white mark right there. That is for the next video. Teaser. Putting a cheap windshield on. And that's where I need to drill. And there's another one on the opposite side. Probably going to do that one tonight too. And they might both get uploaded at the same time. They might not, but it's certainly not going to be an extension of this one. But at any rate, that is the flush mount signals. Don't have the card. Let me go grab that while you watch that flash. See if I can find it. They are the Chrome Glow brand. And that had obviously the specific flash adjuster for the Z125, I think it was. Or it might be specific for Kawasaki. Not sure. Now it says Z125 Pro turn signal flasher relay installation instructions. Part number flash 03. So apparently their part number is flash 03, not the one that I read off and showed you earlier. It's from Chrome Glow. No, they didn't give it to me. I had to pay for it. Not that big yet, where people will actually send me stuff for free. Probably never will get that big with, these little mini bikes. They're not all that popular. They're radically popular, yet they're not popular enough to really make money off of on YouTube. So I doubt anybody will send me anything for free. But at any rate, there it is, flashing away at us. Tidy everything up, put the bolts back in, and you're done. And as with everything on YouTube, please like, subscribe, all that stuff. Make it look like I'm actually doing something that's worthwhile, because making this video just took a whole pile of hours for something that was 15 or 20 minutes worth of work. So I've got at least an hour into doing just this one side, and it was probably half hour doing the other one while I was figuring things out. But anyway, again, please like, subscribe, all that stuff, and look forward to the next video.